Feedback. Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton.
And I am Thabiti Mpinga.
Inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for Feedback,
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
And take us along with you. Feedback, feedback, feedback.
It's you liberals who have lifted them up, Howard.
Paul, you conservatives make a mistake. You can't afford to strangle hope in people. Without hope, people become dangerous.
No, Howard, you liberals have let them invade our society. You give them jobs, political jobs.
Paul, you missed the point. It's only the smart ones we move up.
That makes it even worse.
No, we have to move them up. If we leave a smart one in the ghetto, he might develop into a leader against us. But if we raise him up into white society, we neutralize him. He feels compelled to try to act like us. He loses his identity and his racial anger, if he has any. He becomes alien to his brothers. They realize he sold them out, and they grow to hate him. He becomes worthless to them and safe for us. No, thank you. In fact, in his love for the creature comforts, except for his color, he's become one of us.
All right, and happy Monday to everyone tuned in to Feedback, a positive image production by Hood Research. My name is Theo Broughton, co-founder of Hood Research, and my co-host,
Thabiti, and we welcome you to the program.
And I want to say thank you to all of you who helped us sponsor this program. And for those of you who are considering a sponsorship, please make your check or money order out to Hood Research. If you prefer, you can make it out to WHPR Broadcasting Company. But we ask that you mail it to Hood Research. Hood Research, P.O. Box 4416, Detroit, Michigan 48204. Again, that's Hood Research at P.O. Box 4416. Detroit, Michigan 48204. We want you to know that we have a website, hoodresearch.org. Email is contact@hoodresearch.org. And the telephone number is area code 248-234-2371. And we have the Facebook and Twitter and all those other good things that go along with that. Here on our program today, we're expecting guests, but as we tell you, it's either feast or famine. We either have a lot of guests or no guests. But anyway, we are hopeful that they will come in. In the meantime, some comments on what has gone on throughout this weekend. One, the wedding. People are talking about the wedding. Some people liked it, some people didn't. And actually, I don't think the bride and groom are concerned one way or the other. And it's also been said that Meghan is getting some reparations. There was something more serious that took place, and that was the rally after Derek Leon Roberts was murdered on Mother's Day in the gas station located on 6 Mile and the Southfield Freeway. The rally this past Saturday was well attended, and the parents were there, and there were some demands that were made, and Councilman Roy McAllister was there as well as some other elected persons, but that happens to be his district. And one of the recommendations he has spoken about is that the parents should get counseling, and the owner of the gas station should pay for it. The owner did indicate that he wants to pay for the funeral expenses of Derek Leon Roberts. And that's rightful that he should do that. But more than that, he should pay for counseling that the parents may need, should need, will need, And there should be some other expenses that he should incur as well, back to the community. You know, it was it just unbelievable, unforgivable murder that took place. There are many accounts of it that I've heard. There is a video tape of the whole incident that has been turned over to the prosecutor, and the prosecutor has signed for the incarceration of the clerk at the gas station without bail, and rightly so, without bail. I think that many of you tuned in know that if a person gets bail who has been involved, and there have been a number of similar incidents, that the clerks always seem to have a flight out of the country. In this particular case, however, the prosecutor said no bail. And I talked to a judge, Langston, as a matter of fact, about it recently. And she said that within 7 days, this happened on Mother's Day, by the way, within 7 days there has to be a consultation between the attorney, I guess, and the prosecutor. And an additional 7 days, there has to be a preliminary hearing about how the trial will proceed, whether this will be dismissed or whatever the determination is. With the videotape, however, we were told on Saturday at the rally that there will be no bail. He will not have an opportunity to fly out of the country. And with the evidence of the videotape that captured the whole thing, he's, we're told, will be found guilty. And on the videotape, it actually showed that the customer, Derek Leon Roberts, was purchasing cigarettes, got his change, and the change was incorrect. That is, we're told, the catalyst of the argument, at which point the clerk got to the point where, hey, I'm going to show you, I guess, who's the boss, got a gun, came from behind bulletproof glass, unlocked the door, and came out from behind the counter and murdered Derek Leon Roberts. So the community, I think, needs to watch for all of the announcements, and whenever the preliminary hearing is going to take place is sometime this coming week, because according to Judge Langston, all of that has to be done within 14 days. So the preliminary hearing has to be this coming week if that process is followed according to her explanation. So the community needs to watch out for the date of the preliminary hearing, and it's a public hearing. So those of you who are able to need to go to the court and witness the preliminary hearing. There are so many things that go on, shootings and all talked about today. One of the things that I would like not to hear is a combination conversation about the murder that happened to Derek Leon Roberts and the crime that's committed in the community between two African Americans. There are two separate scenarios, two separate actions. Whether they're murders or shootings or not, they are two separate ones. But when you hear about something like the murder that happened in the gas station, and there's a conversation, somebody seems to want to come in, yeah, but you know there's black on black crime. I say there's no such thing as black on black crime. You never hear that there's white on white crime or brown on brown crime. It's crime. But there are two separate kinds of conversations, two separate kinds of actions, and they should not be combined to water down the first one. Did you read any much about it, the Beanie?
Honestly, no. There's so much going on
Yeah.
to try to cull it all is a challenge.
I know. The attendance there was good, and I think the parents felt the support of the community. So I was glad to see that. I know. Anyway, some of the other things that are going on, and one of the things I wanted to share, you have the book there. We have a copy to show you of the city charter. And each of you need to purchase a city charter. And the need and reason is to read about the kind of policies and controls that we have here in the city of Detroit. Currently, there are two things that are going to be printed on the ballot. One is the question, should we open the city charter in 2018 so that we can review what's in it, change some things if we want to, and be subjected to the administration's efforts to make the charter a mayoral, powerful charter. The second thing on the ballot will be a list of names of people in case this does not get voted down. There'll be a list of names of people who want to be charter commissioners. The job of being a charter commissioner is for 3 years. The commissioners review each of the charter policies and determine whether they want to leave them the same or change them. In the meantime, we hear there are a number of candidates running for the Charter Commission who have been put in the race by the mayor, because the mayor wants a stronger, underline that, stronger city charter. One of the things I'm understanding that's being talked about is the mayor doesn't like the idea that the city council has to approve the budget. If that's taken out of the charter, that means there will be no check and balance of your tax dollars, the ones that finally end up in the city's account. If the mayor is the only one deciding how to spend your money, you up the creek without a paddle. And I think that that actually will leave the council with a much lesser role, if any role at all. One of the most important roles of the city council is the check and balance of the charter. So that's kind of serious issue. Also, the weekend it's been said that the mayor's appointee, Reggie Reg, who was put on the Wayne County Commission, has been removed from the ballot because he did not sign in when he registered to be elected to the Wayne County Commission by using his name, I guess, on his birth certificate or driver's license. So he has been removed from the ballot. I expect that there's going to be an argument over that. And also, I heard that what's his name, Butch Hollowell, well, wanted to be on the ballot to run for Wayne County Community College, another appointee of the mayor. So it appears that Mike Duggan, mayor of the city of Detroit, wants to control every level of government. Every level. Seems like we'll have a dictator just like Russia if that happens. You know?
Well, yeah, we could look at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. You get people who are either in agreement with whatever your policies are, good, bad, or indifferent, and it filters on down to the governor level and on down to the mayor level. So this is consistent throughout politics.
Good point. Yes. If you have an idea, a suggestion, comment on any of the things I've spoken about, any of the things that you read about, heard about, did over the weekend, feel free. 868-4336. In the meantime, I'd like to say something nice to our supporters, lifetime members. Good morning and happy Monday to Vera and Barbara and to Sam and Les and to Ron and Claire, Clementine. Oh, my goodness, there are just so many. And I met Anita over the past week, and who else? Goodness, there's just so many people, so many who support us as well. And it's wonderful. And by the way, fathers, on the second Saturday of June, Hood Research is going to celebrate and lift up the fathers. You know, the media, I hear some fathers saying, well, you know, they did make such a fuss over Mother's Day, and they don't care about us. Hood Research cares about you fathers, as well as the rest of the community. And on the second Saturday of June, we are going to lift up and celebrate fathers. And there will be prizes and refreshments, and I know you will enjoy that day. I believe the date is the 9th of June.
Okay, well, you've struck a nerve because the lines are full. Here we go.
And also the 23rd, we're going to do a Black History Tour around the city of Detroit. It'll be our 4th Black History Tour, just in general, you know. We went to Battle Creek. I know some of you remember that. We went to Canada, and we've done one. So let's see how much you know about the city in which you live on the 23rd of June. Okay.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Yes, this is Tyrone, and I'm over the internet through the phone.
Okay.
The charter, the strong form of mayor means that the mayor controls the department head. Well, what I'm seeing is that we are now ruled by many de facto government of functioning. The garbage is picked up by outside force, so the mayor has no control of that. He has no control of recreation, Cobo Hall, Belle Isle. He's got no control over the zoo, no control over the public lighting. So I don't know if we're wrestling over something that don't exist, because we control lock, stock, and barrel by de facto functioning government, and those are private businesses outside that's controlled by suburbs, which the city council gave away without, we didn't have a vote. Also, our income tax are collected since 2015 by the state. And we don't have no control even on that. Even the elected officials got to call the land and ask them, how much money did we collect or we owe? So the city council don't control the purse. So maybe we might waste a time for 3 years with a city charter fighting for a spot on the city charter when we might need to organize the people of Detroit to gain back our assets. And we can't do that through the courts. We got to do that through force and have people say, if you don't relinquish our stuff back to us, you cannot roll into Detroit and roll out. And I think that we need that, because I looked at some people marched on downtown. And it shows you we are not thinking. Because we marched and they fought to say, we got a right to march on downtown. Because the police didn't want them to march. But they heard Manitoulin now won a lawsuit, said they can march, they cannot privatize the sidewalks and stuff. Well, why would you march downtown with 50 people when you're marching in a white city?
Well, maybe somebody might want to answer.
No commercial area.
Right. Somebody
No
might want
black
to give you an answer to that, Tyrone. Thank you for your input.
Okay.
And now, first of all, the department heads are appointed by the mayor of the city of Detroit. Police chief is appointed by the mayor, as an example. The areas that were mentioned, the zoo, Cobo Hall, etc., are authorities that have been set up to control those areas, including the Belle Isle and the lighting department. And the lighting department actually needs to be challenged because a utility is owned by the citizens in Detroit, and the utility needs to be voted on whether or not we, the residents and taxpayers, want to sell it or not. And that's not exactly the way it was taken over, which makes it illegal. As it relates to those who were marching recently downtown, that was the group that had rallied in front of the water department regarding the water affordability plan. It was also the group that are concerned about the poverty level. And there are 33 or 35 other states where there are marches and rallies going on as it relates to poverty in this country. The charter needs to be purchased by those of you who are concerned about what goes on in the city, how it goes on, and the fact that it is a strong mayoral charter. The ballot question, should it be opened now, needs to have a no answer. When Kwame Kenyatta was on the city council, he was part of the team that introduced the opening of the charter in 2012. And the people went along with it, not knowing, some thinking that it might have been a good idea, and it ended up not being. The charter was technically supposed to have been open in 2018, which is this year. So people do have a choice of having it open again and being subjected to an attack by the mayor and his team of people to make it a totally mayoral controlled city where nobody would have a ability to challenge anything that he puts forth. And I'm sure some of you have heard that he, Mike Duggan, would like to be in control of the Detroit public school system as well. So anyway, let's go to the next caller.
Okay, I just want to interject and say one of the things Tyrone said, I consider the maybe $64,000 question, $64 million question. He said, get the people organized. We've been trying to figure that out for decades. It's got to be the hardest challenge that us as a people face. How do we get people to feel that they should participate and see what their own interests are in there. So I just wanted to say that that's been a question that has been asked locally and nationally. How do we organize our people?
And I've been wondering when he was going to call a meeting to organize people.
And who's going to come?
I don't know.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Good morning. This is Dee Dee. I'm viewing you guys on my cell phone.
Hey, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Great show.
Thank you.
With the charter, my question is, okay, Duggan, he doesn't just do things haphazardly.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be something in it that he will benefit from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Money, honey.
I'm wondering if he's able to mess with the pensions by going into the charter. Because I know Kevin Orr, I saw paperwork when I was doing the bankruptcy that he had added to the charter, and I don't know. I never did able to follow up if you can do how if Kevin Orr was able to do amendments to the charter because he was not an elected city official.
Right. Well, my understanding is that he could not put an amendment in the charter. If he could twist arms or something and have the council vote for something overwhelmingly, then he could always say the council did it. But it's similar to that $45 parking fee. There's an attorney who has filed a federal lawsuit because Kevin Orr did not have the right to increase the parking fee to $45. In the city codes, the parking fee is $20, and if you paid it within, 24 hours or something, it was $10, But the media got a hold of the $45, and folks started talking about it as if it had rained down from heaven or something. But this attorney is in the midst of a lawsuit against that. That's just an example of one of the things that Kevin Orr was putting forth that was illegal. As it relates to the mayor, what he appears to be seeking is the control of the money. And it's being reported that he does not want the council to have the ability with the check and balance system to review a budget that he puts forth to them and say yay or nay. It's whatever he says goes, That's what he wants in the charter. Mm-hmm.
Can he approve contract? Can he change it so that he's the one to approve, like the demolition contracts and how they are awarded? If he changes the charter?
Well, what if that's put in the charter and the people vote for it? Yes. That's why we want to make sure that people understand why we want them to vote no. Do not open this charter. Vote no.
So there's two things on the ballot for the charter. Two things.
One is on the ballot. Do we want the ballot question voted for the charter to be opened or not? I say not. Vote no. Do not open this charter. Okay? The second thing on the ballot is a list of names of people who want to review the charter. And many of those names have been entered at the insistence of the mayor. They're running to be charter commissioners, people who will review the charter if it is open. To open it, you must vote for it. I say do not vote for it to be open. Vote no, because we don't want any more mayoral control in the charter. He becomes a dictator. If you open this charter, he becomes a dictator. Now, true enough, the amendments will have to be voted on by the voters in the community. I say no, don't open it.
Okay, thank you, Theo.
You're welcome.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Yes, my name is Tony. I'm
Thank you.
calling from Detroit, and I'd just like to get some information on how I can get a copy of the charter.
Okay. You can go to the Coleman A. Young Municipal Center, which used to be called the City County Building, which is at 2 Woodward Avenue on Woodward and Jefferson, around the corner. And you can take the escalator to the second floor and purchase a charter.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's one other thing I want to share. The telephone number for the Election Commission, 876-0190. Somebody call that. Didi, if you still tune in, call that number, 876-0190, and find out if they have a stack of charters to sell at the Election Commission. I don't think so, but the Election Commission is on West Grand Boulevard, diagonally across from the Fisher Building.
Did you have another question, Tony, or is that good for you?
Yes, that's good for me. Thank you. Have a nice day.
All
You're
right,
welcome.
thanks.
And thanks for calling.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Born new, Comcast, although I may be looking for another platform to listen to your show, Comcast, into
I
another
understand.
story, though.
I understand.
I have a couple things I wanted to share with good research in particular.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I'm outraged what happened to a 3-year-old boy yesterday got shot dead. You know, if we can't get some kind of stabilization for our youth, actually at that age, my God, I mean any age, even adults, then we ain't got nothing coming. I mean, it's beyond me that I heard that the house had shot up before. Like, why wasn't that handled? What is the adult doing? You know, it's crazy. It just stirs me so bad.
What do you think causes that kind of violence in the community?
Economics all the time. I think mostly it's something associated with some kind of economic somewhere, somehow.
Okay.
And like I've always said and known, and there's a lot of evidence to this, that capitalism is the root of poverty and crime and all of this crap. It's horrible. I wanted to bring to your attention too, and it's hard trying to transition from 3-year-old child yet, but were you aware of the Protect and Serve Act of 2018 that was passed by the U.S. House this past Wednesday?
Protect and serve. Tell me
which
about
will make it a federal crime for up to 10 years for, quote, knowingly causing serious bodily injury to a law enforcement officer or attempts to do so. Now, the ACLU, Human Rights Watch, Southern Poverty Law Center, and a lot of other people say, this is crazy. The police officers already have all kind of protections. You know, they already have all kind of protections. So now it's feared that people who, like, are handled by the police and they raise the hand up there, and the police officers will say, oh, he tried to do something to me, and they possibly go to prison for several years. Now, surprisingly, maybe not surprising, because Democrats are so spineless these days, most of the Democrats in the House voted for this. Most of them with the Republicans. Now, it was a few Republicans who didn't vote, and a few Democrats that didn't vote. Brenda Lawrence voted for it. I want to give a big shout-out to my sisters in California, Representative Waters, Karen Bass, and Lee. They voted against it.
Well, you know,
Brenda Lawrence voted for it.
right.
And it shows you something's going on. I did a little research myself this morning. We only have one black representative in the U.S. House from Michigan. That's Brenda Lawrence. They stole his office. But the rest of them are non-people of color.
Right.
By the way, Ingle and Levin and Kildee voted for this law bill that I think is going to the Senate. We got enough problems, and police already are protected. Everybody should be protected.
Right. Well,
You know
let
what I'm
me
saying?
hold on just a minute.
It's
Hold on.
crazy work.
Right. Now, first of all, the 13th district does not have representation because the chairperson of the 13th district
Right.
didn't think that it mattered. And it appears to me that he is a Republican because he seems to do whatever the governor wants him to do. The other thing, I want to back up to the first comment when we were talking about the violent crimes that happen in our community. I do agree with you that economics has a lot to do with it, but education has more to do with it because that builds up to an economic level. As an example, within the Detroit public school system, which in the past had been fine for all of those who have graduated and have gone on to get a lot of professional jobs and placements. And within the school, they had a junior achievement program, huge building on Grand River and Hubble, been there for years. And that was a project throughout the Detroit public school system which taught students how to run a business. Now, it was small, but the children were small. And it was planting the seed that you too can be an entrepreneur if you want to be. And the children got an opportunity to make, I don't know, keychains, pot holders, whatever they were, and sell them to their families, their neighbors, friends, etc. And that was exposing them to the opportunities, the possibilities, the ideas, and the excitement of being in business, part of capitalism, okay? Also, within the school system, something else that had been eased out was the vocational training. A lot of young people went to school because they had the electrical classes and they even had welding classes. Did you know that Cass Technical High School had welding at one time? Anyway, they had a number of vocational opportunities, and once they came out of high school, they had the choice of going to some of the factories around, and they were at the beginning stages of, what do you call it, apprenticeship, and they did well. Those two were eased out of the school system. Now the art and math, and not math, art and music and sports were reduced, not totally eliminated, but reduced. And people are finally beginning to realize the influence in the learning of math when you have music, and what role that plays, what role art plays, what role sports play. It teaches you teamwork. But now, if you begin, which in about 1998-99, the governor decided with his team of folks who say, how can we undermine the city of Detroit? And
they've been successful too.
That was one of the ways to do it. So and now it seems to me that the people in the community need to be concerned about rebuilding our school system.
I agree, Bill. You know, Tyrone used to say all the time, if we're going to organize, it has to be the people from the neighborhoods, particularly the youngsters, people that are never, ever involved. They need to be brought into the equation. Like that march Saturday for the brother who was killed in the gas station, it was full of elite from religious, government, and community activists. They were all elites. Now, that's fine, but that's not where the action is going to come. It has to come from the people.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, I was there.
Guys
and
marching. I'm against marching anyway. I want action, not no marching.
Well, I was there. They were not marching on Saturday, and all of the people there were not elite. And
Well,
there
most
were
of them were.
there was no. I'm not saying there weren't some there. What I'm saying is they were not all elite. And if you were not there, you saw the television news report. And of course, what they're going to show are those who have name recognition. Now that's a difference.
Well, now we're following chasing ambulance because now another Chaldean killed, shoot the brother, and it's going to continue. And we're not going down the right road dealing with this. We really not, and we can't ignore the economic piece there.
That's right. Now, what road should we be going down? Since you
What's
brought it
that?
up. We're not going down the right road. What road should we be
No, we're
going
not.
down?
We're not going down the right road to correct this. We're
What
much
road
following the
should we
same,
go down?
Strategies from 50 years ago, and it's not working.
What road should we go down? I don't want to talk about 50 years ago.
Yeah, I think you know what. Let's talk. I want to talk about today. We need to walk away from this system. Money and everything. It may take 1,000 years, but we need to start that journey.
Okay,
Because
so
we
on
got
June the
nothing coming
9th,
here.
I want you to
The hero
join
that was
us.
shot in the head yesterday is
Okay.
proof of it.
So June the 9th, I want you to join Hood Research at the Dabo Center on Grand River and Wyoming and bring your suggestions there. Thank you for calling.
All right, have a good day.
You too.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Slice Dog, Grandma 91 contest.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I'm in agreement with you. Do not open up that charter. We got enough dictators going around with the leaders of Detroit who were able to come off and put in all these people in office who turned out to be
You're right.
under. They act like they still under some kind of gag order not to tell the truth and to do the job that they was hired to do.
A gag.
As if they have no control over anything, the purse strings and nothing else. So if that being the case, please don't open up the charter, because if they showing you lack of authority now, you let them open up their shop.
Hey.
They might as well just remove them from the seat.
So how should we vote?
I say don't open the shop. No, do not open the charter.
So vote.
No.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling.
Okay.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Hi, this is Dee Dee calling back.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Janet Winfrey's office on the boulevard, they have the city charter.
Okay, good.
The old version is $2. The new version is $8.
Okay.
The phone number is 224-3260. 224-3260.
So they do have them at the Election Commission on the boulevard?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, because that telephone number is not the boulevard's number. That's the office in the city county building, now known as the Cobanillo Municipal Center.
Okay.
But that's good to know that
Thank
they're at
you.
both locations. Well, it's a lot easier to park near the Election Commission on the boulevard than filling around downtown.
Okay.
Thank you
All
so
righty.
much for getting
Bye-bye.
that information. I appreciate it. Because for those of you who don't know, if you take that toy train, it takes a half hour to get downtown from the boulevard. You know that?
I haven't wrote it yet.
Please. I decided to ride it while they had a free demonstration. I was not going to pay to ride a toy train.
I'll get my exercise on foot.
Hey, you get downtown faster. Go ahead.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Yes, this is Tyrone calling back.
Tyrone, don't call me anymore
Oh, you don't
today.
want me
You're
to call
spending
back
too
to
much
your
of my
show?
money. Call me next
listening
Monday.
to people?
Call me next Monday. Yeah, you can call 5, 10, 15 minutes. Anyway, we have our meeting on the second Saturday of June. the 9th of June, and the meeting is from 2 p.m. until 6 p.m. We are going to celebrate Father's Day with the fathers. Know that you are going to be lifted up and appreciated. And we don't want to hear, Hood Research does not want to hear, mothers get more attention than the fathers do. You tell other people that, if they practice that, that's on them. We're going to have refreshments and prizes, and we want to let you know that we do appreciate the efforts that you put forth to raise your children. In 2018, it is more difficult than it was in the past. And we understand that. There are a lot of reasons for it. There are a lot of, policies that get put in place that make it more difficult. And I do understand that the policing units are not as encouraging and supportive as they should be. However, the police department does have the PAL program, Police Athletic League, and there are a lot of young children who get an opportunity to participate in that. And it's good for them. They learn teamwork. They also need to have members from the community to participate with them as well. It's good that the officers come out. It helps to build a better relations between the community and the police department. However, if there is a non-professional attitude that is shown towards you, if you don't report it, you're giving them permission to continue with the same attitude. And that brings me to the gas station on 6 Mile and Southfield. The kind of attitude that was leashed out on the customer who just simply said, "You did not give me all of my change for the cigarettes I bought, and I want my change." Okay? That kind of attitude has been shown in other locations, gas stations, convenience stores, liquor stores, etc. And particularly on our young children. If you have observed that a child goes in and buys chips or something and gives $1 and doesn't get his change, that's being disrespectful. The child does not have any kind of ability to argue back with an adult behind the counter who won't give him his change. It has been reported on a number of occasions that on the floor beside the leg of the clerk, there's a wastebasket, shoebox, can, or whatever, where all of this extra change gets dropped and I guess counted at the end of the day. The kind of respectful things that are shown to our community need to be reported. If not, you are giving them the ability and the go-ahead to continue with the disrespect. And I say that's something that needs to change. What are you going to say?
Hello, caller. Would you give us your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Slide quickly, I wanted to share the State Bar of Michigan Environmental Law Section. There's a journalist, environmental law journalist. He wrote an article called Viewpoint, Mass Water Shutoff, a Strategy to Purge Detroit's Poor. Mm-hmm. So your listeners need to look up the State Bar of Michigan Environmental Law Section.
Okay,
and
now
the article is called Viewpoint, Mass Water Shutoff, a Strategy to Purge Detroit's Poor. This article is deep, and that's why I said your council people are useless, because they know they can vote on an affordable water plan where based on income, these people could have water.
Right.
And
Now, what
someone else
paper is it?
adopted the plan, Rough and Rice gave to our city, and they're using it in Philadelphia. But yet here, we got tens of thousands of more people will be shut off, causing health crisis.
Okay.
That they won't even publicize the health crisis that's coming behind the shut off.
Okay, now
I'm taking my card. I'm upset again.
I understand. Where can this article be found?
It's the state. It's called State Bar of Michigan / Environmental Law Section.
Okay.
And the name of it is called Viewpoint.
Okay.
Mass water shutoffs.
Okay.
A strategy to purge Detroit's poor.
Okay.
But you have to look up the State Bar of Michigan / Environmental Law Section in order to find it.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for that information. The State Bar of Michigan.
Environmental law section.
Environmental law section.
And then look for something that says viewpoint.
Viewpoint. Okay.
I've got it written.
Okay.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Yes, why don't you stop misleading the people, P.O.?
Cut him off. I'm not going to talk to you again because you need to get your own show and you can do whatever you want. I'm not going to allow you to keep spending my money.
Okay, there's a few bills I wanted to bring up. Senate bill, this is being sponsored by Senator McColeman Young II. Senate Bill 1018-1020, modify the distribution of state funds to community stabilization programs and create the revenue sharing trust fund. I do believe that it was said we have maybe $200-300 million surplus in the state now.
It's more than that.
So the well, just the same.
Yeah.
This bill that he's sponsoring would modify the distribution of state funds to community stabilization programs. Of course, we know Detroit has a lot of issues when it comes to rebuilding communities, and I don't know how far this will go. Of course, we know that there's a lot of opposition, particularly Republican opposition in the State House, but certainly this will be something for the community. Now, one of the things I wanted to mention before I read these other two House bills was that we're looking at, I guess recently within the last couple of days, perhaps it was Friday when 10 people were killed at another school in Texas. So I noticed one of the things that's interesting is that some of the bills that are being proposed by the House, it seems they dance around the issue of gun control. It's always dancing around the issue. So House Bill 5942-5943 wants to set penalties for threatening a school with a firearm or dangerous weapon as a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year in jail and a $1,000 fine. There are a couple of
say that again.
Okay, the House Bill 5942, 5943 set penalties for threatening a school with a firearm or dangerous weapon as a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year in jail and a $1,000 fine.
You know, that doesn't make any sense. Why is it a misdemeanor when attempted murder is a felony, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
anyway, go
ahead. Here we go with those folks.
Yeah.
Now, there's two other bills that are similar. One says establish and fund a grant program for school safety measures and student mental health programs. I don't know that that's going to be effective in that we're looking at, first, the idea of establishing a fund and a grant program for school safety measures and student mental health programs. It's not always easy to determine, so I don't know if those funds will be appropriately used. And the last part of this is House Bill 5967, 5968, establish mandatory reporting by education employees of credible threats of violence against the school. This is being sponsored by Robert Kosowski, Democrat in Westland.
Now, who determines whether they're credible or not? It seems to me that all of them bear watching. But you know what's interesting to me? There was a president of the American Federation of Teachers, and he was talking about black and brown students, black and brown students. Every student, an individual that has done a mass murder in a school has been white. White. So why was he trying to brainwash folks to say, oh, you're black and brown student? Black and brown students. They killed, what, 10, 12 at a time, 21 in Sandy Hook. They were white. White killers, white students. White killers and white students. But yet this man was trying to just muddy the water. That's why I was saying earlier, don't mix the two incidents that happened, the killings, the murders, the massacres. The man that was in the casino in Las Vegas was white. And he shot up all the folk who were at a concert. He was white. So don't try and just slickly, blame that on the black community or Hispanic community.
Well, it's always easier to deflect from the truth with a falsehood, and if it's repeated enough times, people actually accept it as the truth. Mm-hmm. And this is what media is supposed to do, particularly if they're slanted. They're supposed to spin the dialogue or the narrative so that it doesn't really impinge upon the individuals or look for another way out. It's sort of like a scapegoat kind of thing, but it just doesn't work. One last thing I want to mention quickly is House Bill 5992, which says that establish election signatures forgery as a chargeable offense. So if you have names on the ballot that cannot be validated, then they want to make that a chargeable offense. I find that interesting as well, since we're already dealing with controlling the vote, gerrymandering, and all the other things that help to eliminate certain groups from being able to
now this is
participate.
Candidates are trying to vote?
Those who are established, it says, and then my thought on it is that it's saying that if you collect signatures, so it says establish election signature forgeries as a chargeable offense. So I don't know if that would be the one who collects the signatures or the one who uses those once they try to, submit them to the, proper authority for validation.
That's interesting. Well, we've had an interesting dialogue this morning, and I want to thank all of you for tuning in. And as I always say, it's not necessary for you to know everything. What is necessary is for you to know how to find what you need when you need it. We at Hood Research seek out as much information as we can to share with you. We encourage you to call in and come to our meetings, which are the second Saturday of each month, and share as well, because this gives us information to help us all make better informed decisions.
If you want to be nothing, do nothing. But the only problem with doing nothing is you never know when you finish. Make sure you're registered to vote.
Absolutely. And vote no for the opening of the city charter. Vote no. Thank you so much for tuning in, and tune in again next week.
And now, stay tuned for Get in the Know with Marley B.